Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Nate Bohuniak podcast. I'm Nate Bohuniak, and I'm here with my special guest, Joseph Aravalo and Liv Connolly, and we're talking about the Oscar nominations this year.
Cool.
So, what do we think, guys?
Nope should have been nominated. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
Nope. Yeah. I liked Nope. I thought it was a great movie, and I think it gets better over time. But I think it was a movie that got snubbed.
Yeah, it was my favorite movie of last year, and I thought it was really, really good. I love Jordan Peele, so I thought it was good, but I don't know why it wasn't nominated.
I think some of the things that should have been nominated at the very least was the sound, visual effects.
And the acting was really good, I just think it deserves that. So.
Yeah, it also I think it's just more because it's a horror movie, and horror movies are very Oscar bait movies.
Yeah.
And so they never just get nominated for anything.
Yeah, but this is a fancy horror movie, so maybe that's why. Because it's not like a slasher. X wouldn't have been nominated, even though I wish X was nominated because I loved X.
I've yet to see X or anything by Ty West, like Pearl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would give it a shot. Yeah.
Those are my other favorites of this year.
You keep saying it all the time. I need to watch it.
Yep.
Yeah. But Joseph, what do you think?
I'm really glad Everything Everywhere All at Once was on there. That was a really good movie. I enjoyed that movie. That one was probably one of my favorites.
Yeah. It was a very good movie. I liked it. It was a well done thing in my opinion. And I know you think
I didn't
it was
really
okay.
like it that much. I don't really know why. I just I didn't like how many times the movie climaxed and then it would keep going afterwards. It kept starting up again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It happened 3 times and I don't really like that. I'm sure it was a stylistic choice. I just didn't like it that much.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the point because I think it's it's a weird multiverse movie, but I think with its messages and themes and especially what it's tackling, I think it needed to kind of be that way, but not necessarily. I can understand it's a weird direction, but you know, I had a fun time with it.
Yeah, it was good. I just it wasn't really my kind of movie, but
Yeah.
it was good.
But it is nominated for a ton of awards, and some of them I'm happy for. It definitely should have Best Direction, Best Actress.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the very least.
Yeah, those are really good. But I think at that Elvis one, Elvis does not need to be on.
Oh, Elvis.
I heard that one was pretty bad.
I haven't seen Elvis, but I don't really like Elvis Presley as a person, so I don't really want to watch something that's glamorizing his life.
Yeah.
I don't really like biopics other than The Social Network, which is kind of different than most biopics. I think a lot of biopics are kind of it was a lot of them last year was biopics. A lot of the Best Picture nominees were biopics, and even this year I think there were a few biopics that had things. And I just don't really like biopics a lot of the time because I'm well, can we come up with kind of a new story at least a little bit? And it's that is just a story that is a real story. I don't really.
That's kind of what Best Picture or the Academy Awards, they look for who is what's the best drama this year, or who are we going to glamorize today? I think 2018 Bohemian Rhapsody, All About Freddie Mercury, that's I think swept most of the Oscars that year.
Yeah. It was kind of a movie. It was fine.
It was whatever, I think. But
Didn't the Elvis get Best Picture or is nominated for
I
Best
think so.
yeah, it's nominated for a lot of awards this year.
Not the weirdest thing that was nominated for Best Picture though, because the weirdest thing I think was Top Gun Maverick.
Top Gun Maverick, I watched it. I saw it twice. I saw it in theaters with my friend, and I thought it was visually really cool, but its story was kind of all right. I've seen it before.
It's also just it's a movie. It's just a movie. It's not anything special or new. It's a sequel to another movie, and I don't feel we need another.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing, so kind of going back to Elvis, I think one thing I'm having, I'm a little bit skeptical is Best Actor because I know everybody likes Austin Butler as Elvis, and I saw it. And he was only the best part, but I think there was a better actor that year, and it was Brendan Fraser for The Whale.
Yeah, I haven't seen The Whale, but I've heard that it's really, really good from everyone who's seen it.
And
also Sadie Sink was in it, and I love Sadie Sink. So
that movie is I know I think some people aren't going to love it as much, but it's not an objective or what people consider objectively good, Everything Everywhere All at Once. But I do think like it hit me at least, and I think Brendan Fraser, or is it Fraser? I don't know.
I don't know.
I think he should have. I think he should get this award. It's been so long.
I also think the Oscars are kind of a hard judge for like best movies because sometimes there's like good movies that are just so far off from like what the Oscars would ever put. Like there were like, I mean, obviously X is my favorite, but it was like, and that's like the Oscars have never nominated a slasher. They will never nominate a slasher because they don't get it. But
yeah,
like, you know, that doesn't make it a bad movie because it would never get nominated for an Oscar. It's still really, really good and better than a lot of, I think, the best picture nominees.
Yeah, but like speaking of which, like I think with the Oscars, I think what really grinded my gears last year is how they kind of interpreted animation in the film industry. Like I remember watching the last award show. Horrible. I just did not like that show at all. It was really poorly staged and unprofessional. And I don't like Amy Schumer, so that's
no one likes Amy Schumer.
That's a big down, yeah. But I remember like it was the Disney princesses for the live action remakes, and they were kind of making fun of like
they were like it's just for kids, like.
And it's crazy because I think that year there was like this adult film documentary that was only animated.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you like? That's not a kids movie. That's something. I think it was like Flea.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I hate the way they treat the animation category. They just like see Pixar or Disney and they're like, well, I gotta have it win.
Yeah,
can't do anything else.
Like don't get me wrong. Like I think Pixar makes some of the best movies I've seen ever in animation. But like there's some people out there, like some animators that are just phenomenal. Like this year, I think like I was really happy for shockingly like Puss in Boots 2.
No,
like
that one was really good.
Like I remember watching it and I was just like going in blind, kind of like it's just gonna be a okay movie with cool animation, and then all of a sudden it has like this really good story and great message about like mortality, which is weird because like that's another thing. It's not only just animation, but it's also like directing as well. Like I mean, how many times have you seen like Martin Scorsese or Steven Spielberg up for the category?
Yeah, I mean, almost every time Steven Spielberg makes a movie, they're like, we gotta put him in the Oscars, or like James Cameron, my least favorite person in the entire world, who I am fully willing to fight. Put that in.
And you know, like that's the thing. Like I was really excited for like the people that did Everything Everywhere All at Once to be the best in best direction category, because not only do I think like their direction was amazing, but like I also think it's just nice to see directors I've never heard of. But like I think overall this year for film in general was pretty great. I think there was some good value in almost every department ever.
Yeah, I think there was a lot. This year had a lot of really, really good films, and I think a lot of them were stuffed for Oscars and stuff. But yeah I think overall it was a really good year.